What's up, guys? So we got a little bit of a different video today. So one of our last videos, we had a new player that was watching and had actually joined my Discord and reached out to me, both via game and in Discord, and was asking some questions, and some of his questions are pretty detailed. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's just hop in a Discord call so I can walk you through, help you through some of this stuff. And after talking to him for a little bit, found out he'd only been playing for maybe a week or two. Still really new. I had played other ARPGs, so was pretty familiar with kind of how they worked, but was just kind of a little overwhelmed and lost with PoE. So I figured this would be a good time. I know one of the things that really drew me into PoE was just how awesome the community was and how helpful the community was. And I remember when I had first started years and years ago, I had gotten a ton of help from players, people, veteran players that helped me, guided me on what to do and what to look for. And then after I'd taken a long break, so I'd played about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd taken a long break, and I had actually just come back last league. And once again, I had some veteran players just come in. I didn't ask for their help, but they came in. They're like, hey, I see you're kind of struggling with this. Do you have any questions? And they helped me out. So I figured this would be a good way to pay it forward and kind of, for some of you old heads that have been playing this game for a long time, just to kind of relive that wonder that, a brand new player that's just never seen this before. So just to give a quick synopsis of what we did, we took a look at his build, and he was doing his own thing. He wasn't following a build guide. So we got him started on we recommended crouching tunas, lightning arrow build, because he wanted to play like a high DPS character that he could league start. So we helped him out with a couple, starter uniques, gave him a storm cloud, a couple other just leveling uniques just to kind of help him out, because he had leveled his original character to like level 60, and he was a little bit bummed by having to re-level again. But I figured I would help him out and get him on the right path, because after looking at his build, it was going to take so much work to fix his build, because he was trying to do like a trickster, like mine build, and it just wasn't really set up the way that it should be. And so it was going to be a lot easier just to start over and just start fresh. So there is going to be some edits in the video, because we ended up kind of talking and going through stuff for like over an hour. So I'm not going to show the whole video, because otherwise it'd just be be an hour long video. So if you see some clips and it's just editing out some dead time and things like that, or maybe some things that maybe we talked about that maybe aren't super relevant, but yeah, let's jump into it. Hope you guys enjoy. Cool, man. So just to make sure you're cool with me recording this, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't have anything going on. I just got all the equipment because I like the toys.
Okay, cool. So you're pretty new to PoE, right?
Yeah, I'm no slouch when it comes to like ARPGs. Played all the Diablos and stuff, and I mob all sorts of other games. Mentioned
Oh, okay, cool. So you're familiar with
Final
like it.
Fantasy and stuff. Yeah, like I just don't know any of the internal systems. Like we talked about the crafting and stuff like that, or which resistances I need. Like right now, all my gear is green gems.
For sure. Yeah, so we can go over that. I guess the first thing, I mean, are you liking PoE? Are you having fun with it?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Okay, cool.
Just blind, like I just know that I'm not getting all of it because
For sure, dude, it's a huge game, bro. I mean, like you can literally have people say like they've been playing for 2,000 hours and they're still a new player. So it's nothing to, it can be kind of overwhelming, especially if you're a brand new player. But I mean, you do have some experience in ARPGs, so it should be pretty easy. So I guess the first question is, so you're liking the game. Are you liking your build so far? Like, do you enjoy the play style, or do you think you would want to play something else?
I enjoy the play style. I don't know enough about them all to know what else I'd like, but I don't mind the shadow like idea. I usually play a ninja, and
You just cut out there for a second. I couldn't hear the last thing you said.
I said like I enjoy the play style of ninjas and stuff in RPGs. Feel like being swift and throwing my dagger and laying mines.
For sure. Give me 1 second. Sorry, my dog is barking to get in here.
No worries.
So But like I mentioned before, the your actual starting class doesn't really it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things unless you just like the thematics of the shadow. Like pretty much every build in the game can play every class in the game can basically do every build. It's just what's more optimized, right? Because everybody's got access to the same skill tree. It just depends on where you start on the skill tree, right? So so what are you doing? So you're doing what's the build that you're doing?
Well, I've just gone towards the. It's kind of all over the place, but I just from the shadows side, I went like straight out to the right, uh, down the attack and cast speed nodes to coordination, then up over Will of Blades and Fangs of the Viper.
Got it. So you're not actually following a build. You're just kind of doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Okay. My suggestion for you is since you're a pretty new player, what I would do now, you can always choose to do whatever you want to do. I played PoE like many years ago, and I came back last league, and I started not playing for like 3 or 4 years. So basically, everything that I knew was just not a thing anymore, right? Or it was different. So I basically had to relearn everything. And so I league started cast on crit, which is probably one of the most un-newbie friendly, and it's very, very difficult build to understand and to scale, because there's just a lot of hidden mechanics that aren't explained very well, unless you know what you're doing, right? So the reason why I'm telling you that is that, like, if you're like dead set on, hey, I want to do X, you could do it, right? But it might be a little bit more difficult for you to do it opposed to something that's a little bit easier to scale. Right. So if you want like kind of like
the highest is 1 billion damage.
I mean, dude, there's builds that do like hundreds of millions of damage. Mine sounds like you like being kind of like glass cannon DPS kind of character, right?
Yeah. I
like,
mean,
you don't really care about being tanky, right? Like you don't like that's not something like you don't want to be like a fucking walking meat shield.
I care more about DPS.
Okay. So Righteous Fire. So Righteous Fire probably wouldn't be the way to go then, because Righteous Fire is very tanky. It's a very easy build to start with. And it does scale. So Righteous Fire is one of those builds where it scales pretty well up until like, I would say probably like tier 16 maps. And then you got to invest a pretty heavy amount of currency to really get to the next step. My suggestion would be is if you want to do something that is, to me, I think it sounds like you probably would like either a Deadeye or a Pathfinder, because they're really, really good DPS classes. They're some of the highest DPS in the game. They scale to infinity. It can be a little rough in the beginning. Well, I mean, I'd say really like early game is really good. It's really easy. And you start to kind of hit a wall towards late game until you start to get some upgrades. But like the damage is insane. I mean, that's what I played last league, and like you just mow through stuff. So that kind of sounds like that might be like your play style. And I think Lightning Arrow is pretty easy to. I think it's pretty easy to league start Lightning Arrow. Let's see here. Let's just look Lightning Arrow.
Yeah, it looks like the second most played of the between Saboteurs and Pathfinders.
Yeah, and Crouching Tuna.
Saboteurs and Rangers.
Yeah, Crouching Tuna is a really good. Like he's a pretty well known content creator. So like you would be really, really, it'd be really, you wouldn't go wrong following his guide, right? So like, let's see. So this was updated. About 2 weeks ago. Let's see who's the one that did this build. Who's the person that did this build? Oh, this is Crouching Tuna as well. Yeah. So he hasn't done a updated YouTube video. It doesn't look like, but he's got it. But his Maxroll guide is updated, and I'm sure there's probably a POB in here as well. So that would be a good one for you to check out. I think if you're interested in that, like like it sounds like it's kind of like what you want to play. It's very it's glass cannon. It does a lot of damage. It's very it's squishy, right? So that sounds like that's kind of like what you want to go for.
Yeah. It says it's the difficulty's 4 or 5 there. Oh, is
Where does it say
that,
difficulty? Difficulty's low.
oh, low. I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, so it's yeah, it's a
green
pretty
is good. Okay, I
yeah,
see.
green is good. Yeah, so it's a pretty easy build, and the only thing is that you are a glass cannon, so it is going to really depend on like your positioning is going to be really you know, important for you, and then making sure you don't stand in shit because like you're going to get like one shot at if you aren't careful on where you're standing and what you're doing. So
That
if that
happens a bunch already. Like I have to just run in and keep like face rolling the monster until he's down for like bosses. I just
pretty
fought
much, or you just
Howling at end of Act 5 or 6. The
yeah. So
Filterblade or whatever.
that'd be a good one to check out. Another really good league start, and I can say I can for myself speak of how strong this is Summon Raging Spirits. Like SRS is so strong right now. If you wanted to roll that, like it's the same build that I'm using, and it's really strong and it's really easy to scale. Like I've got maybe, I don't know, maybe like 5 div invested into my build so far, and I'm doing like T16s pretty easily. Juice T16. So that could be an option too. But it just depends. I don't know if a minion playstyle is going to appeal to you.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But
So to me, what it sounds like, I think probably your best bet's probably going lightning arrow, or maybe SRS, maybe going summon raging spirits. It sounds like you're liking lightning arrow, so I would just go off of crouching tunas. Let's see if he's got a POV here somewhere. I'm sure he does. Excuse me. Here it is. Here's a POV. Oh, it's copied to clipboard. Okay, so let's import this. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do this on my. Don't save. Oh. Okay, and he's got like the early game progression. Doesn't really have a leveling one, which is a little sus. I mean, he does have early, mid, late, so like he gives you kind of like an idea to go off of. And I have some of these items I could give you, I could help you with. Like I've got I'm pretty sure I have a 7 league that I can give you. I don't even have a 3-step assault sugar and boots that I could give you too. I'm pretty sure I do. But yeah, I mean that's what I would do. I would do this if that's the kind of play style that you want. And then most builds, if you look, they will usually have like an Atlas guide too on like what it tells you progression. Okay, yeah. So this is a really well made guide. So I think you would be really good with checking this one out and seeing if you like this. And so
Lightning Arrow Dead Guy League starter.
yeah, and you can league start it too, which is good.
That's where I'm at on that.
Yeah. Cool. So we've decided we've figured out your build. So you got to look at the ascendancies too. You got to look at the ascendancies too. So the main reason why most people go Deadeye is because you get additional projectiles in your tree. So like to give you an idea, to get additional
free up the gem slots.
Well, you would still want to get the gem slots, but to get additional projectiles on gear it can get kind of expensive, right? So the fact that you can just get 2 additional projectiles just right from your tree is probably the reason why most people will go Deadeye opposed to going a different class for a ranged build. Right. I mean, this is the go-to bow class. If you want to use a bow, you're probably going Deadeye, or you might be going maybe Ranger. Or Pathfinder, excuse me. So But yeah, so that's path of building. You're pretty familiar with that. You said you downloaded. So if we go to Filterblade, right? Oops, I typed an extra Y. So let me share my screen real quick. So it's pretty easy, right? So like you don't really have to get in here and mess around with stuff. What you can do is you can just set it to, what I would probably do is probably put it on regular, or you can even put it on soft. But I mean, I think probably regular is good. It's going to show you all the currency that you want. And then once you get to later on in the game and you want to start hiding more stuff, then you can move this up. You don't really need to go in here and mess with like the individual presets of it. Like you don't need to customize it unless like you really want to. But yeah, so you can just go to regular and then you can just go save and export, and you can pull right into the games. Did you already do that?
Yeah, it started at semi-strict, but I'm fine with
Don't
regular.
do semi-strict. Don't do semi-strict in the beginning. Yeah, you want to do regular.
Regular and go.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is semi-strict is going to hide it's going to hide a lot of stuff that you're going to want to keep, especially since you're still in the campaign. I would definitely keep it on regular, and then once you get to maps, or if you feel like you're getting a lot of currency, and then you can move it up to semi-strict, but I would start at regular and then move to semi-strict once you get some currency accumulated. Yeah. Okay, so you go to game, and then you can choose what filter. So you can change it so it's going to load whatever your filter currently is when you load in, but if you're playing a different character, you can always change it.
That's in game?
Yeah, that's in game. Yeah, so when you press escape, and you go to options.
I got them.
Yep, and then item filter will show you right there.
That's brilliant. That's cool that they added.
Yeah, it's super cool. Have you heard of Awakened PoE trade?
I think I've heard you or some other creator mention it in a video, but
okay.
I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah. So you want to download that. So just go. What this does is it's like a trading app that runs in the background. And so what you can do is now you can find out if items that you pick up, if they're worth money, without having to be like, hey, like what is this worth, right? So what you can do is you go to an item, right, and you just hover over it, and you press Control D, and it's gonna bring up this other menu. You see that other little pop up that popped up?
Yeah.
Yep. And then what you can do is you can select the affixes for it, right? So actually, this is a bad example. That's I'll go over that one in a second. But like, okay, for this one, like the shaper seed, right? So you press Control D, and it's going to show you. It's going to say, okay, so it looks like market for this is right around 5 to 10 C, 5 to 10 chaos, right? So actually, that brings up another point. Do you know how to sell stuff in your stash?
No, I have the premium tab so that I can do it, but I haven't got.
Okay. So what I would do is have a tab. You have that tab or two that's dedicated to selling things, and then if you go up to the top and you right click it, you can change the name of it. So name it whatever you want. I've got like sell one here, but you can name it whatever makes sense to you, like just dollar signs or whatever. And then that way it's a sell tab. Right click it. And then you go, you click to make it public. Yeah. So yeah. So for example, right. So the shaper seed, right. So we press Control D, right. So we see, okay, average, is between 5 to 10 C. So we right click, and we go exact price, whatever it's going for. So 5, and then chaos orbs, right. And you can price. You can also set like whole tabs to sell items at like one price. I wouldn't recommend doing that right now because you might end up underselling things or overcharging for things and maybe never selling it. So it's better in the beginning to just kind of like individually price things, and then like if you get to the point where you're like rolling in items and that they're selling, you can just have like a tab like, hey, this is 50 chaos tab, this is 1 div tab, etc.
Control D. Nice.
Cool.
Okay, and then what to post it to sell?
So once you have it in a public tab, you just right click the item. So, well, first off, you want to see how much it's worth. So you would Control D, and look at the prices. Now, one thing to note on this, don't use this as like rule of law. This is just kind of to give you like an idea. If you see prices that are all over the place that don't make sense, what you can do is you can click the little trade button here, and it's going to open up a trade window, and it's going to, then you can actually go through and look at the trade site and see like, hey, like what's this thing actually selling for?
Right on.
Okay. So the other thing that you mentioned too is talking about like setting up your affinities for your stash tabs, right? So what you can do is
a lot of time sorting already.
yeah. So check this out. This is gonna make your life so much easier, right? So when you go to your tabs, right? So what you can do is you can right click, and you see this little button that says affinities.
Okay.
So if you click on that and click, so this is a currency tab. So now, like here, I'll show you. Right. So let's just grab this Grand Eldritch Ember. Right. So let's say we're on our Scarabs tab, right? We can still right click this or control left click this, and it'll still go right here because that's the affinity it's set for.
Sweet.
Yeah, and you can do that for all of your tabs too. So you can set them all to be to whatever the affinities are. And then anytime you need to put anything in there, it'll just go right in there. POB, we talked about PoE Ninja. I think that's pretty much it, man. I mean, you're pretty much set up to get rolling, and what I can do is I can help you out with some items, some leveling items. I'm pretty sure I have some of the uniques. I mean, you already had the tabula, which you can just transfer over to your character. But I can help you out with some items. I can help you get started. Yeah, see, I've got a three-step assault boots right here that you can just have. I mean, they're like 1C. I can just give them to you.
They we have a couple questions.
Yeah.
That I wrote down, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
How to add sockets to an item? Because I've just been selling all
Yeah. So
maybe that'd be all right if I upgraded it.
Yeah. So how you want to so how
colors too? Those three things.
Yeah. So sockets are done by jeweler's orbs. So you just go to the item and you just click on it. So you'll get these. So there's a couple ways you can get these. One is just by looting them. There's certain things if you sell to vendors, they'll give you a certain item back, right? So here, let me show you an example. If you take 3 maps, so let's just find 3 maps of the same type. All right, so here, so dunes. So if I take these 3 dunes maps and I go to Helena and I sell these, it's going to give me another map of the next tier up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That corresponds with every level. Like if you take 3 fire, it'll take you to water or whatever.
Well, they're just different maps,
levels,
different map tiers, right? So if you sell 3 level 3s, you'll get a level 4. You sell 3 level 4s, you'll get a level 5, right? So it's a way to especially in the beginning when you're like you don't have a whole lot of maps, you can get the maps that you want to run, right?
Those don't even start till I finish the campaign, right?
Yeah, but but that's just an example, right? So there's vendor recipes. So what I was getting at is that like depending on what the item is, there's a vendor recipe that will give you something. So for example, if you find an item that's 3 linked, that's all 3 colors, red, green, blue, it'll give you a chromatic orb. So any item that has 6 sockets. So if you find an item that has 6 sockets, you can sell it, and it'll give you 7 jeweler's orbs, right? And if they're linked, then it's going to give you 20 fusings. So that just gives you like an idea. So how to answer your question, how you link or how you increase the number of sockets is you would hit them with jeweler's orbs.
Okay, and so I've seen a video out there somewhere of how to connect 6 and stuff, but what about changing the color? Is there a way to, like, if I find a good item that's 2 blues instead of 2 greens, is there a way to?
So chromatic orbs.
Or do they automatically?
No. So fusings is the other way. So if you're just trying to get the certain color sockets you want. So here, let's take an example, right? Let's find an item. Okay, so let's use this item here. So this spider silk robe. So let's say we want to make this, it's, ignore the fact that it's corrupted right now. We wouldn't be able to change it anyways without a specific currency, but let's just use this as an example, right? So this is an energy shield base. So on the Verici calculator. Oh, here. Sorry, you can't see what I'm sharing. Let me go back to.
I see it.
Let me go back to the game. So I was talking about this robe here.
Okay.
Yep. So what you can do is you can go to the Verici calculator and you can type in, okay, so the number of sockets we want. So we want 6 sockets. The requirements for this are 134 intelligence. And the desired colors, we want 4 blue and 2 red. Let me go to calculate. Now this is going to show you all the different methods that you could do to get those colors, and then it's going to show you the best method to use. So for this particular one, the best method to use is literally just hit it with a chromatic orb until you get it, right? So it's saying our average number of attempts, it's going to take us on average around 17 chromatic orbs to get 4 blue, 2 red on that particular piece of gear.
I see. Is
Right.
that like per socket? Like it'll take me 18 tries to get a green one?
No. So what this is
Blue
saying is for this particular permutation to get 4 blue, 2 red, we would, it's going to take on average, it's going to take 17.7, so 18 chromatic orbs on average to get those colors that we want. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see.
And there's different methods too, right? So once you start unlocking your crafting bench, there's different ones, right? So there's one red, 1 blue. So when you go to your crafting bench, there's actually there's crafts that you'll unlock that will that you can do. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. So if you go to sockets, there's different ones. So you can guarantee there's 2 sockets, 3 sockets. You can guarantee 4 link sockets, 5 link sockets. You can guarantee the colors, right? But it generally costs more chromatic orbs than if you were just to click it, but it's guaranteed to get those colors.
I see. Right on.
Right. So there's a couple other methods too. If you have like a base that's for instance, like if you have like an invasion base that has a really, really high chance of being greens, and you need like 2 blue, 2 red, 2 green on it or something like that, like colors that aren't going to be easy to get. There's other methods to get those, but I won't go into that. But there's a way to basically guarantee you can get the colors that you want on your gear.
Right on. Yeah, I'm not worried about it right now.
Yeah.
I just was like, I wonder how that happens, because I did see the chromatic orb say reforges the color. And I was like,
Yeah, it's random too. So, but it is weighted. So there's a certain weight. So basically, what it's going to do is you're going to click the chromatic orb, and then depending on whatever the weighting is, it's gonna determine what colors it gets depending on the highest chance that you have. So if it's an invasion base, chances are you're gonna get mostly green, right? If it's intelligence or energy shield base, it's going to be really, really high chance of getting blues. And if it's strength or armor base, it's going to have a really high chance of getting reds.
right on.
Okay. And you said you had another question?
No, it was just mostly about the orbs, the sockets. Yeah, that was it. Conversion and adding and linking.
Yeah. That's all stuff that'll come. I mean, the good thing is you already have a tabula, so that's gonna really help you with just getting shit rolling. Like you've already got a 6 link already. Starting a new character, which is huge. But yeah, man, that's
Do the orbs stack? Like if I have a 3 linked item and I throw a spectral blade in there and then have a critical poison support, can I put another critical poison support on it?
no.
Like no.
Yeah. So each support gem is only gonna go with each. You can't do multiples of the same support for the same skill.
Yeah, that was the other question about them.
Yeah, and I'm. It seems like you kind of already figured it out, but it's better to have 1 or 2. Like generally, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to have like 1 main skill that you're gonna be using to do damage, and then everything else is just gonna kind of support you, whether it's damage mitigation, travel skills. You're gonna have 1 main damage skill, which is gonna be in your 6 link. and then everything else is just going to kind of support you, either giving you more damage or giving you more survivability, like that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Was it you that said oh, was it-
That's a
I
what?
spaced it. I spaced it.
Oh, you're good. No worries, man.
Uh, yeah, I don't remember now.
Cool, man. Well, I think you're all set up. So what I can do is, I can get you, help you out with those items. You already got a tabula, so I can look and see. I actually might have a gold rim. I can help you out with it as well. Yeah, man. And then you can get rolling, and I can even help you through some stuff if you want, or if you want to kind of just figure it out on your own. But yeah, you should be good to go and good to roll now, man.
I should start a new ranger type then.
Yeah. So start a ranger, and then I can help you out with some leveling uniques to get you started. And then you should be on your way. And just follow Crouching Tuna's build. He's a well-known content creator, and he puts out really good quality builds. So that's what I was looking for when I was looking at the the different stuff in PoE Ninja. I was trying to find somebody that's like well known. So like there's certain content creators that like you would want to go to for certain types of builds. So like Crouching Tuna is like the lightning arrow guy. He's super, that's kind of like his build. Pox for Righteous Fire, like that's the guy like knows everything about Righteous Fire, and he makes a Righteous Fire build every league. For minion builds, Ghazi is really good. So it depends, like once you have been around a little bit, you'll start to know the certain content creators that make certain types of builds you want to go, and then you'll want to check out that person's build and what they're doing and see what they're